Hello. Helen here from helenmartinonline.com. I forgot a filter today. Oh no, I always have a filter lately. What can I find? Got to have a filter for you. Oh, how's that? Is that fitting? Oh, I'm a little princess today. So there you go. There's my filter for today. Okay, we'll get rid of that. How are you going? So I want to talk about objections today. So have you had any objections to your business? So for those of you in a home-based business, network marketing, direct sales, MLM, this video is for you today. This will give you some tips in relation to how do I handle things when people say, I don't have enough time to do a business like that. I don't have enough money. I don't know if my husband or my wife would agree to that. I'll have to go and talk to them. I don't know enough people to make a business like that work. Like, who has not ever come across, one of those objections? So there's always objections you're going to come up regarding your business. So if you've ever been faced with that, drop a one below, let me know, because if you haven't been faced with it yet, if you've got a home-based business, there is no doubt that you will. It's just part and parcel of this business. And a lot of people give objections and they're not necessarily the real objection. It's usually why people have objections is they're just scared about the thought of what they might have to do when they have a business like this. So there's all these things that come up that are not necessarily the truth as to why they're objecting. But what's really important is that you know how to handle that. So I'll get onto that content in a moment. For those of you that are meeting me for the very first time, so it is Helen here, and I help home-based business owners bring their business online. So teach them skill sets like, how do you brand yourself online? Why would you go online? What's the difference between going online and building your business the traditional way, etc. How do you get leads? How do you get sales? All those things to build a business online. And I do talk a lot about mindset because it's really important to be in the right headspace to be in this business. So let's talk about objections. So if you are new to me, please just say hello and tell me where you're coming in from below. Even if you're on the replay, just say replay, because I still love to connect with people after the live. I don't always see comments as they come up when I'm on a live, so it's good just to go back afterwards and connect with people. So objections, let's talk about objections. I want to give you 5 tips to handle, objections, and I really hope that you find this information useful, because until I learnt how to handle objections properly, it was a real barrier for me. I didn't know how to handle it. I didn't know how to feel. I didn't know what to say. I felt, upset sometimes. I felt rejected. I felt I'd done something wrong. I didn't, all these things and all these negative things come up with objections. If you've felt that way as well in your sort of network marketing journey, then please put a 2 below. Let me know. I think this is a common feeling. And as I said before, if you haven't been faced with it yet, hey Charlie, how you going? If you haven't been faced with objections yet, you're probably going to be somewhere on the line. So let's arm you with the right information so you know how to deal with these situations. Now, firstly, one of the important things is obviously the words that you use, what you say. And that's a critical component to dealing with objections, is to knowing actually what to say back. So that's one component on it, but that's going to be number 5. I want to get on to 4 other steps first that sort of preface the strategy behind dealing with objections. So let's deal with the strategy first, then we'll deal with the actual practical words that you're going to use to handle these objections. So number 1, I want you to try to take this on board as much as you can, because I know it's hard. I've been there, I've done it myself. But whenever you get an objection, you cannot take it personally. Whatever somebody else's issues are, it's actually got nothing to do with you. But what we tend to do as humans is go, oh, well, you take it personally when someone says no. You take it personally when somebody doesn't respond to your messages. You take it personally when somebody says something negative like, why are you in a business like that? Like, oh, isn't that a pyramid scheme? Like, it hurts sometimes, and you take that personally. So the number one thing to remember is what anybody anybody's objection is, it's actually got nothing to do with you, and you need to remember that to remain, to keep your posture, in this industry. You think of it like, let's say you go to dinner at somebody's house and they serve up something that you don't like to eat. Let's say it's Brussels sprouts. Why doesn't anybody like Brussels sprouts? I love Brussels sprouts. You put them in the oven with some herbs and some oil and you roast them up and they're beautiful. But anyway, most people don't like Brussels sprouts. So let's say somebody serves you up Brussels sprouts and you really don't like Brussels sprouts. So you don't eat your Brussels sprouts. Why? You just don't like Brussels sprouts. Is that anything to do with the host or their ability to cook or their ability to serve up food, or what they've offered you? No. Do you hold anything against them for serving you up some food that you don't like? No, absolutely not. It's just that it's something to do with you that you don't like Brussels sprouts. So it's got nothing to do with the host of the person that's providing you the meal. It's nothing personal. You just don't like it. You don't want them for some reason. That's the way you need to think of your business. If someone says no to you, gives you an objection or something, it's just not for them for some particular reason. It's actually got nothing to do with you, like in relation to the Brussels sprouts. So, when somebody's giving you an objection or a no or whatever and you're starting to take it personally, just think of Brussels sprouts. See how that works for you. But the one thing to remember is it's really got nothing to do with you. It's usually something to do with the thought of what they have to do. Or I don't know enough people to approach about that kind of business. Or what would I have to do? Do I have to approach people? Do I have to bug my family and friends? Is that kind of thing that's not something that sits with me well. That's generally something because they're not confident. They don't feel like they've got enough friends. They're really strapped for cash. So, all those things have nothing to do with you. So remember that the next time you prospect somebody and you feel disappointed or you feel let down, it's even somebody's personality traits. I don't know why people ignore people. I don't know why people don't respond to messages. I don't get it. I think it's rude. If I message somebody, even if they're not interested or something's going on or it's not for them, whatever it is, if somebody sends me a message, I will always respond because that's the polite thing to do. Even if it's, not what I want to hear or whatever, I would never not respond to somebody. But that's my personality trait. Now, there are a lot of people out there that will just avoid it because they don't want to deal with it, or they avoid it because they think they might hurt your feelings and they don't want to. So they just don't respond. So please understand that has actually got nothing to do with you, your personality, or your business. That's to do with the personality of the person that you've approached or you've messaged. So I hope you understand that. Do you understand that? Can you send me some likes and loves if you understand that? That if somebody doesn't respond to you, it's actually not your personality. It's got nothing to do with you. It's their personality traits. So if they choose to ignore you, then that's just a character trait of that particular individual. It's sort of got nothing to do with you. So that's number one. Don't take anything personally. Number two, this is probably a different concept for you to understand, but I want you to embrace any kind of objection. Embrace it. Take it on board. Smile about it. So let me explain that to you. So somebody says, isn't that a network marketing? So you're talking about the product, the benefits of a product, something that's really helped you. You've got a good product story and they say, where can I buy it? And you say, well, you can't buy it in the shops. It's only, sold by distributors. So somebody says, is that like a network marketing thing? And it's like, it's just a different distribution channel. The company's chosen not to retail in shops because of all the marketing expenses that come along with that. So it's just that they've chosen to use people to do it. It's just a different marketing channel. It's just a different sales, avenue. And they go, aren't those things pyramid schemes? So, your natural reaction might be to that, no, pyramid schemes are illegal. So, and yes, that's true. Pyramid schemes are illegal. We all know that the people that are in this industry, that the company that you're in is not a pyramid scheme. But because of, terrible, thanks, Tanya, She's just saying the backdrop's amazing. We are pretty lucky where we live. Where was I? I've completely lost my train of thought, Tanya. What was I talking about? Objections. I've seriously completely lost my train of thought. Okay, let's get back on track here. So, what other people are thinking. I've actually seriously lost my train of thought. Hey, I'm human. If anyone can prompt me to what I was actually sort of talking about, that would be awesome. Sorry to distract you. Whoops. Well, you did a good job, Tanya. I'm completely distracted. I can't remember what I was talking about, but it'll come back to me. So just remember that whatever anybody is sort of, that's right, we're embracing. That's what I'm back. We're embracing whatever anyone says. So instead of giving that reaction, that distraction of, that's funny, of feeling, what's the word for it, offensive and defensive in relation to somebody saying that. So your natural reaction might be, no, pyramid schemes are illegal. Like, why would I do, I've been in business all my life, why would I do something that's illegal? Like, you know me better than that. So it's a very defensive reaction. As soon as you get on the defensive bandwagon, that gives off particular body language. You'll say certain things, they're going to be defensive back. So the whole mood of the conversation very quickly changes to a defensive one. So what is a better strategy to use there is just whatever the objection is, completely embrace it. So if somebody said to me, oh, that's network marketing, is that like that pyramid scheme stuff? I would actually laugh and say something like, I completely understand your comment. I actually thought the same way too before I sort of researched this business and really knew a lot about it. So see the difference there? Instead of me saying something like, no, it's not a pyramid scheme. Pyramid schemes are illegal, which is the truth. And I can say that with conviction. My body language, my tone of voice, and how I'm coming across is defensive. Defensive just meets more defensive. So people go, oh, okay, that's just, what I thought. So the conversation has already gone bad. But if I embrace it and I laugh and I go, I completely understand you saying that, because I actually thought the same thing myself. I thought all network marketing companies were pyramid schemes, and until I did a little bit more research and found out that it wasn't, pyramid schemes are illegal, I'd never do anything like that. So there's the strategy. You need to embrace whatever the objection is, laugh about it, take it on board. So you're embracing what the person is saying rather than being defensive and using defensive wording, which actually goes nowhere. So just to recap, number one, don't take anything personally. Whatever people's objections are, whatever they're saying to you, whatever their character is, playing out in action, like not responding to your messages or words that they say, it's got nothing to do with you. So don't take objections personally. Number two, whatever the objection is, embrace it. So if it's that whole sort of pyramid scheme thing, laugh, embrace it, agree with the objection. So if somebody says, I really don't know enough people, to do something like that, so that's an objection. And you could say, yeah, I get what you're saying. I understand, because that's exactly what I thought when I first started looking at this business. So embrace the objection, agree with the objection, and turn it around. Okay, so embracing the objection and taking it on board is number two. Is this making sense? Send me some likes and loves, some comments. Drop me a number 3 below if this is making sense to you. So number 3, assess, is the objection true or not? So take it on board, and is it true or not? So I'll go back to the one about, the pyramid scheme. We know that when we're in this industry that we're not in pyramid schemes. It's just an old myth. Yes, there were dodgy businesses around that are all about money making. There were no products, behind it. So yes, they have been around, and that's what gives all the network marketing businesses a bad name, and that's a shame. So it's a stigma that sort of, sticks around. But is it true or not? If you know conviction, like I know with my network marketing company, it's not true. It's not a pyramid scheme. It's a legitimate business model. It works on residual income. There are products behind it. So, It's not just a money-making scheme. So work out, is the objection true or not? So I know that my network marketing company is nothing to do with a pyramid scheme. So then you can talk about that legitimately. You're still using the same sort of language and strategy with embracing it. But once again, you're saying, yeah, I actually understand why you would say that, because I thought the same way when I first looked into this business model. But through the information, sort of what I found out was, so you're debunking where, that it's actually not the truth. So work out whether whatever the objection is true or not. So then you can work out how to handle that particular sort of objection. And something like a pyramid scheme, often people say that because of lack of knowledge. People put this industry down because they actually know nothing about it. They don't really know much about it. They just know that they had an auntie that did it 10 years ago and it didn't work. Or somebody was in Amway, many years ago, and, they hassled all their family and friends. And so, they've got a bad image of sort of network marketing. So I would, like the pyramid scheme one, I would say to somebody something like, what do you mean by that? What do you understand by a pyramid scheme? And you know what? People generally don't have an answer. They'll go, oh, isn't it, I actually don't really know. I just heard. So their comment has actually no backing to it, no validity to it. It's just something that they've thrown out because it's something that's been, put in their brain at some point in time. So work out whether the objection is true or not. Ask a question to draw out what they're truly thinking. What's the true objection? What are they actually thinking? And do they even know why they're thinking it? So like a pyramid scheme, most people don't even know what that means, which is just sort of money making. There's no sort of products. There's no basis to the business. It's just people making money off people making money. That's what a pyramid scheme, and it is totally illegal. And so, if your network marketing company has got products behind it and you've got customers and that there's a valid business behind it, you are not involved in a pyramid scheme. So that's not the truth. But just try to drill down to whatever the objection is. Is it the truth or not? And what do they actually really know about it? So you can do that very politely by asking, what do you actually mean by that? And you'll quickly find out whether it's just words that they're saying or whether there's an experience behind it. And when you get more information, you can deal with the truth. So it's really important to get down to the truth. So that was number 3. Is the objection true or not? Number 4, be okay with the no. It's okay if people say no to the business. If you have to convince anybody to get into business with you, they're only going to cause you trouble. So if you're chasing someone, convincing somebody how good this business is, convincing them how good the comp plan is, convincing them how their life is going to be different by having this residual income on the side, if you are convincing somebody to join this business, then they are only ever going to cause you trouble, because the minute something goes wrong and the minute they get some objections, they don't know how to handle it and they're not truly convinced this is the business for them, that's when the excuses come, when things don't go right. So if somebody says no, thank them for it. Seriously, a no is better than somebody not answering you. A no is better than somebody ignoring you. A no is good because you know the answer. And no doesn't always mean no. Like, I've had people come back to me that said no, originally. Have you ever had that? Happen to you? Send me some likes and loves if you know. Maybe it's not you, but somebody you know in your team, that they've had people say no, but then, people have been watching for a period of time and then they come back to you. Or maybe they didn't have the money at some particular point in time, but then they've saved the money and they've come back. But just appreciate this business is not for everybody, nor should it be. So people choose different professions. So some people will choose to be a teacher. Some people choose to be in the medical world, a doctor, a nurse, an assistant of some sort. Some might choose to work in a retail shop. Somebody might choose to work in a gym. Like, there are so many different careers and professions and jobs out there. And just because they're out there doesn't mean they're suitable to everyone. And our industry is no different. It's not suitable for everyone. So if somebody says no to you, thank them for that. because they're not suitable. You only want people going into business with you that get the industry, understand the industry, their dreams are bigger than their fears, and they want to give it a go because they want more out of life. Now, if somebody doesn't have that vision, that's okay. If somebody wants to follow a career in another way and they poo-poo this industry, that's okay. That's just their opinion. It doesn't, hey Deborah, how you going? It doesn't matter. You've got to stand in conviction with the business that you are in and why you are in it, and not let anybody put you down for that. Now, if somebody says no, I'll say it again. It's got nothing to do with you. It's their choice. All you are doing is offering people an opportunity. An opportunity to offer some products, whatever those products are, health and wellness, skincare, weight loss, travel, whatever. So you're offering people an opportunity to find some really good quality products. Awesome. Some people will buy, some people won't. Those that don't, doesn't matter. You don't go into a shop and buy one of everything because it's not suitable to you. It's not relevant to you. Our business is no different. People that say no, it's okay. People choose different professions for a reason. So not everybody is suitable to this business. So don't walk around promoting your business like it is suitable for everybody. And the minute you need to start convincing somebody of how great this business model is and that they should join your business too because of this reason, that reason, or it's only going to cause you dramas with that person in the long run. I've been there, I've done it. It's not worth it. I only want to work with people now that are keen for this business model, that have the vision and their dreams are bigger than their fears. Anybody else that I have to spend too long going into the nitty-gritty detail of all the ingredients and the comp plan, and if somebody wants to know that level of detail, yes, they might be analytical. I'm like that. I did my due diligence, I will admit. I did a lot of research before I jumped into this business. But that was something that I wanted to do. I didn't need to be convinced. I needed to do my own research. So assess the difference there. But if you really, and I know what it's like in network marketing, you just want customers and you want people to join your business because you want your business to grow. You just want this badly. But not everybody walking the planet is your potential customer or your potential business builder, and that's okay. So be okay with it. The minute you come off desperate, the minute you come off as if you need people to buy your products or you need people to join your business, game over. People smell that from a mile away and you've lost your conviction. So you need to stand into your own, not let anybody crush you or your confidence for the choice that you are making because your dreams are bigger than your fears. So if somebody says no, be okay with it. If somebody's got an objection, be okay with it, embrace it, and deal with it the appropriate way. I'm getting onto the words in a minute. So, and just appreciate the fact that this business isn't for everybody, and that's fine. It takes a particular type of person to be in this business, and if you are in this business, I applaud you. Because what it means is that, you have got goals and dreams and you're chasing them. It means that you're not scared. You may be scared, but you're doing it anyway. To do something that's different from the normal. We know that society dictates go and get a job, maybe you go and get further education, you work for 60 years, 70 years, hopefully you've got enough to retire on. That's what most people walking around you in your life think is the normal. Stepping outside the normal takes guts. You've got to do things you don't want to do. You've got to move past fear. When you don't feel like doing something, you've got to do it anyway. That's when success truly happens, when we, move through fear and do the things that we are not comfortable in doing. That's where people get successful. When people say no, 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 no to you over and over and over again, that's the people that are going, but you fight through it anyway and you just keep pushing on because what you're going to try to achieve, you're the one that's going to be successful. If you want to have what other people don't have, you've got to do what other people are not willing to do. And when you do that, that's when success happens. So don't let anybody stop you from achieving that. Hold your ground, hold your posture for why you're in the business that you are in and what you are trying to achieve. The minute you come off needy, the minute you have doubts or fears and you're prospecting somebody, the minute you're trying to convince somebody, then game over. So it's really important that you stand your ground, have posture, and don't let anybody get in your way. Okay? If anybody is commenting, I can't see the comments for some reason, so Just letting you know. Now, the fifth tip. The fifth tip is the words that you use. So, okay, you understand not to take things personally. So this is the strategy side of it. I'm not going to take things personally. I'm going to brace objections and agree with the person. I'm going to work out whether that objection is actually true or not, so I know how to handle it. And I'm actually going to be okay with people that say no. So I've got that all sorted out. Cool. Now, what the hell do I say? So we know to say to embrace, that's the first part of it. If somebody's giving you an objection, embrace it, agree with it, etc. But I want you to remember 3 little words. And hopefully you've heard of this before, because it's like a famous strategy to use from Eric Worre. If you've been in this industry for a little while, you'll know who that is, and where Eric Worre has some great training on, traditional network marketing and how to build your business the traditional way. And he has a book which is called GoPro. I bought a whole lot of these books for my team ages ago and just gave them out and said, read it, because it's really the sort of the basis of survival, if you like, in the network marketing industry. And there's a principle he uses for dealing with objections, and it works. So write this down. Feel, felt, found. This is how you handle objections, and the words that you use: feel, felt, found. So when somebody gives you an objection, you're embracing it. Like I've said before, I completely understand how you feel. So you're embracing the objection. I understand how you feel is number 1. I felt the same way too. So you're agreeing with the person, I felt the same way too. But here's what I found. And then that gives you the opportunity to turn around. So let me give you some examples. So let's go back to the pyramid scheme, example. Is that network marketing? Isn't that a pyramid scheme type stuff? And so I would say something like, I understand, how you feel and why you would say that. I actually felt the same way too when I was first introduced to this business, because I really didn't know much about it. But what I found through researching the company and the products and everything sort of behind the business is that it's definitely not a pyramid scheme. It's a legit business model. It's just a different way of doing business. Rather than selling things in shops, they sell them through people, etc., etc., etc. So any objection you use feel, felt, found. So something like the time objection. So somebody says, I don't have enough time for something like that. I'm so busy with my kids and my life right now. I just really don't know where I'd fit that in. So how you would handle that with the feel, felt, found strategy is, I completely understand how you feel. I felt the same way. Like, I had so much going on when I was introduced to this business. I really didn't know how I was going to try to fit, that in as well. But what I found is, because all I really need is an internet connection, because I build my business online through social media, all I need is my phone and an internet connection, and I can do this business anytime, anywhere. So it really doesn't have to take up as much time as I thought it did. It just moves with me in whatever I'm doing in my life. So same principle: feel, felt, found. The same with, it might be the money example. I don't have enough money for that at the moment. It's like, yeah, I understand how you feel. I didn't really have the money at the time when I was looking at this business, but I really felt like I had to do something different to change my money troubles. Like, I can't expect, to get out of my money problems if I don't do something different. So because it was a relatively low buy-in, like the investment was so low, I saw the risk as being minimal. And I know, and I realized that, I felt that I needed to do something different to get a different financial, outcome. So if I just keep doing what I'm doing, I'm not going to get ahead financially. So I felt, for me, it was worth finding the money to invest in the business, because the investment was so low. So it's not really high risk, but I wanted to do something differently to get a different outcome. That's what I found. So see, in any example, you can use the feel, felt, found, principle. And also, the money one, the time one, you can challenge politely. You can challenge, with the money one, it's like, well, do you see that changing? It's that whole conversation, like I was just sort of saying before. But unless you do something different, you don't get different outcomes. If you're going to do same, you're going to get same. So if you've got money problems now and you don't do anything differently, you're going to have the same outcomes. So sometimes it takes taking a risk and doing something different to get a different outcome, and network marketing might be that. So you can have those conversations with people about, even time. People say, I don't have the time for that. And it's like, well, how's that working for you? Do you want to stay like that? Are you always like, if you're always going to stay in your job, if you're always going to be in this situation, how are you ever going to get time? So you've got to do something different to get your time back. So you don't be defensive or negative or challenge or a smart ass about it. It's just like, well, how's that working for you if you've got no time? If you did something like this, which is a low financial investment, it doesn't take much commitment, it's low risk, but if you can do it on your phone at any time, anywhere, like, why wouldn't you give it a go? It's such low risk. So you can point out, all those benefits, but I'd always remind you not to get wrapped up in the detail. Try to portray to somebody what they can get out of it. How is it going to help their life? This is where people go wrong in this conversation, is they talk too much about the ingredients, they talk too much about the component. Oh, well, if you get this level in, then you get a free car. And, there's 5 levels and 7 levels, and then there's 12 levels, and at this level you do this, and you've lost people. People only care about how it's going to change their life. So if they're struggling with time, talk about how this could actually give them some time back. If they can earn some money on the side and they're not a slave to their job, then maybe they could lighten up their hours with their main job. So talk about the benefits of what this can provide to people, not the details of the business itself. So the words that you use, feel, felt, found, and in that conversation, highlighting what this business can give them back, more money, more time, more freedom. Often it's not about what the money is about. It's about what the money can provide somebody. It's about the options you can have when you've got money. We all need money. You want to go on a family holiday, you need money. You want more freedom in your life and work less, well, you've got to earn money a different way to be able to step back from, the 9 to 5 type thing. So it's just reassessing what's important to that person and tapping into that. So at the end of the day, just remember, stand your ground, have posture in why you're in this business, and you are doing what you are doing, whether that's full-time or on the side to earn some extra income, etc. So never, ever, ever apologize for chasing your dreams. And never, ever let anybody put you down for having dreams that are bigger than your fears. And a lot of people won't go and do something different because they're fearful of what they might have to do. They're fearful of, reactions. They're fearful of objections. And that's what holds a lot of people back for striving for something more. So don't be one of those people. So let me just recap. So the 5 tips to dealing with objections. 1, do not take anything personally. 2, embrace the objection, agree with it, and then use the appropriate words to counteract that. 3, work out whether the objection is actually true or not. If you're not really understanding what the person's true objection is, try to get to the heart of the matter so then you can talk about it appropriately. Number 4, it's okay for the no. Not everybody is suitable for this business, nor should they be. So if somebody tells you no, that's a good thing. You don't have to waste your time anymore. You just move on. So remember the no's. Okay, it's a no, thank you, time to move on. It's okay, embrace that. And number 5 is the words that you use. Feel, felt, found. I understand how you feel. I felt the same way, but this is what I found. Does that make sense? Did you get some value out of that for dealing with objections? Send me some likes and loves because I can't see, maybe there aren't any comments, but I certainly can't see any if they're happening. So I hope you found that of value. If you've got team members that have been affected by objections and they really don't know how to handle them, then please share this, tag them in it, this video, because this is a really important survival tool in this industry, is knowing how to handle objections the right way, making sure you're not defensive, because when you're defensive, the person will feel it straight away. Game over. Whenever there's any kind of negativity, or defensiveness, then you haven't handled the situation sort of correctly. And it's a learning curve. So if you've done that previously, don't be hard on yourself. I didn't know how to handle it for a long time. So it's just a matter of learning a new skill. You know what those tips are now, moving forward, so you can handle these objections better, moving forward. Thanks for the feedback, Deborah. So, I hope that's of some value to you. If it was, make a comment below, let me know. And I hope you have an awesome rest of the day, and I will speak to you soon on my next Facebook Live.